Joe in real life. So I ran 7 miles yesterday. It was like 7 in the evening, and I was feeling antsy, and my feelings were kind of getting out of control on me. You know, I wasn't angry, I didn't lash out or anything, but I was just feeling some kind of way about, the miscarriage. And so I went out and I ran 7 miles, and which is a long run for me, the longest I've done in a minute. Halfway through the run, my most recent exercise regimen left my back feeling really fatigued, and all the classic running faults started happening. I was hunching over, I was hinging, my shoulders were caving, my arms were crossing in front of me, just like spine fatigue, really from like my pseudo knees over toes upper body work that I did earlier in that day. And it was awesome because I had to keep reminding myself to fucking, imagine that line running through your body, pulling you up like a puppet, a marionette, and just try to stay forward, try to keep my gaze up, try to keep my chin tucked a little, and keep my arms at the side, keep them pumping, help them to power the legs, which that's a real thing. That's the most common thing I see people fucking up in their runs, is they're not using their arms. Your arms should swing side to side, kind of low, and you use them. It's counterintuitive, but you use them to power the legs, and they really do once you get your cadence right, which is pretty organic. Anyway, that's a tale for another time. But halfway through the run, right in the 5K range, 5K to 4 miles, I started getting really fatigued. And I didn't plan to run 7 miles. That would have been a good place to stop. But like I said, I was in my feelings, I was kind of toggling between frustrated and angry and sad, and just kind of accepting and forgiving and like understanding, rationally. I think my sweet lady love was like maybe 5 weeks pregnant, maybe. No, 4, and it's very normal and very easy to understand rationally why this would happen, and like, so there was some like acceptance and some like just some basic understanding, of why it happened. And then I toggle into just fucking what the why me's of it all, or why her rather, right? Try to be a little less self-centered. And I got really upset. You take an experience like that and you couple it with fatigue, and you're going to find your emotions. Well, you've had this experience. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. Your emotions will start getting really out of control. And I was noticing that this was happening. But instead of reining it in, I decided, let's just take these feelings all the way. Let's take them to the absolute brink of what they have to offer. Let's really look at each and every one of them. Running's great for this, by the way. People always say that running's their meditation. Running is not meditation. I don't care how you run, it's not meditative. You're not meditating right. If that's, but it's an altered state of consciousness. And on that point, I get your meaning. It's not meditation, but it's also not regular thoughts, feelings, and thinking. And it is a very, very useful utilitarian form of thinking. Like, so from mile 4 to mile 7, that's where I was. And I was extremely tired, extremely hot, extremely fatigued, and just kind of upset and working through my feelings. And even though, here's what's interesting, even though the run itself was incredibly unpleasant, that 30 minutes flew by. Like, it was unpleasant, but I don't really remember it. you know? Like, I remember the feelings, but I don't remember them running. And oof, what a gift, what a miracle that is, you know? Like, and we're all exercise folk, so I'm sure if you haven't had this exact experience, I'm sure you've had this experience, you know? It's just, if you exercise even regularly at all, you know what I'm talking about right now. You're just not contextualizing it right if you think you don't. And that's okay, because it's a little confusing and I'm rambling. So, you know, the fault's probably on my shoulders. But, I tell you, when I have a little voice in my ear when I'm doing these runs. And when it said, "You've reached 7 miles, blah, blah, blah," and started giving me the rundown, I was like, holy shit, I ran way too far. And then that was the moment I came out of my hypnagogic running state. And I just lay down on the ground in Bonaventure Cemetery. And I had a good little cry. I had that sweet, soft, mournful cry of self-pity. And it was great, man. It felt so good. I was so happy to do it because it just like I'd worked it all through. And I just like pulled the release hatch and let it come out. And you know, I wasn't sobbing uncontrollably. That's in my opinion, that's when your emotions get the better of you. Like this, as unpleasant as it was, I was in control of it. I was experiencing what I wanted to experience. And then when I was like, all right, let's pull the release hatch. And I pulled it. And man, it was like, I don't want to use a buzzword, but it was that good cathartic cry, you know? Where I was just like, all right. That it is what it is cry, you know? I hate that expression, but it does fit sometimes. Really nice. Really nice. So that's where I'm at today. My legs are fried, just destroyed. I weirdly not sore, but it feels dangerous. It feels dangerous to go too heavy with it. I have this idea that today I want to do, it's a rest day, and I want to do a peppering of strange exercises, and I want to just feel my legs, just feel my hips, legs, trunk in some new positions. So that's what I'm going to do today. I don't know what it's going to look like yet. I still have to warm up, and it's getting late. But that's it. Hey, a number of you commented yesterday offering your condolences, including Ivan. Like, that's wonderful, seeing as I'm plagiarizing him, you know, and I really enjoy his feedback. Thank you, guys. You know, I promise you I'm okay. And it ain't that big a deal, but it's still sad, right? Like, the sky doesn't have to fall for you to feel something, right? And I guess that's like a emotional sobriety. I guess the you know, the final boss in the 3-level sobriety game. So thank you. You know, I appreciate your kind words, truly. And yeah, today's a new day. We're dialed in, and we're going to attack. Stay tuned. So what I do, something like an 8-minute rant on running and processing grief. And here I am doing a goofy move that I do not recommend. So maybe this is interesting from a fitness perspective. Like, all I'm doing here is playing. This isn't like a set thing. I didn't learn this from anyone. I'm just goofing off. My body feels awkward. Not even weak necessarily, and not fragile necessarily, but like I guess, fatigued in uncommon ways. And so this is a little idea I had to kind of find my hips, find my knees, find my middle back, which I should have said that first because that's actually the worst. And I was like, I got into Malasana, a low squat, and I'm just doing shoulder circles, trying to keep myself straight and upright, trying to find some activation in curious movements. And it didn't work. But it was interesting, and more important than being interesting, it was fun. Like I don't recommend this. I probably won't do it again, but I do feel like I learned a lot. I assumed what I would be hitting here was kind of shoulder complex mid-back, and what I ended up getting into was a deep oblique, kind of iliac crest stickiness, unpleasantness, and I really liked it, man. Like, I liked it. I missed the mark, but certainly I could come back to that again someday. But it would require a very specific sort of problem, and I don't know that I'll ever have that. So, and I just went in the front squats. I did more reps than these, but I'm just showing you kind of highlights. I got up to the minimum and I called it. I tried to do some old-timey strongman hack squats, where that's basically, it's like a deadlift squat, but you hold the bar behind you. I was using a hook grip. I think I got up to like 135, and they look just embarrassingly bad. I'm not showing you that. My pride can't take that hit. But that's a movement I'll return to. And I think that if I hadn't been as fatigued as I am, that there is something there. But today's a play day, you know? Before I did any of this, I did 3 rounds of calf raises and tib raises, some farmer's carries, a little crawling, and that's it. The whole workout, beginning to end, took me maybe 40 minutes. And with the exception of my daily minimum, I didn't do anything, like, as far as real work's concerned. You know? What else? I think that's it. I think that's all I got for you. Yeah, I feel a lot better. I'm just getting down in my garage, just doing my morning biz, and talking and ranting. I've kind of sorted my feelings, and I'm ready for the day. You know, I got to get into work. I got a long one today. But anyway, this is Joe in real life. I love you guys. Be kind to each other today. I'm going to strive hard to do the same. I'm about a month away from a year, and that's pretty exciting. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow.